This session is designed to explore the strategies for the upcoming years on Latin America's accommodation sector. Today, I have the pleasure to speak to three executives who are leading important companies in our region. Our first guest is Eduardo Giestas, CEO of Atlantica Hotels International. Our second guest is Gonzalo del Peón, Group President of AMResorts. I'd like to also welcome Alex Laffer, founder of Vitacon and founder and CEO of Housey.com. Welcome you, gentlemen. So we will have the perspectives of corporate travel, leisure travel, and the home rental business. Let's start talking about the transformations we all had this year. Alex, beyond new health and safety protocols, what are the other important transformations your business had this year? How is a home by subscription company being affected?
Hi, Tricia. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. So we are a living as a service platform. We manage now more than 10,000 units in 14 different cities of Brazil. And we work with a flexible stay. So this is not a short stay and not a long stay. We call it any stay. So this is something pretty innovative. It's living as a subscription. And we see a switch of the short stay to the long stay. So this is the first one. The second one that we can see is that people are increasing the consumption of online services such as personal trainers, delivery of food. So people are avoiding to commute pretty much. So this is something very natural for this time. We have a national expansion and we see that people are switching cities since they can work remotely. They are switching from city to city in a very easily way. And people want to live in a 15 minutes walk city. So people want to be close to services and to the city centers. They don't want to commute and they don't want to use the public transportation pretty much. And something that is another thing that we noticed is that the change of the public, we have many divorced people. We do have people that want to isolate themselves on the pandemics. So this is a shift on the public that we are attending. So these are the main trends that we noticed this last month.
Great this year, right? Good. What about you, Giestas? How Atlantica and the corporate travel have been changing this year?
Well, I will not repeat the words from Alex. And first of all, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure being here with you and my colleagues from the panel. What I can say, Tricia, looking not at specific consumer trends. I mean, we manage a hotel company that has more than 20,000 rooms in Brazil, and we got hit really hard, as all of you were, especially the corporate markets. But I think, a good crisis is something that you should never miss. A crisis is a major catalyst for good change. I think in your organizational terms, we had to adjust really fast, to respond to a risk of a financial collapse of the system, given the fact that the revenues and the cash inflow dropped for more than 85% for 4 months, right? So we had to put the company on a crisis mode management, and we did it really well. But I think what we did also very well this year, that we took the chance, we took the moment, and we sped up the business development initiatives. We have a lot in the pipeline, and we did a lot in biz dev that will put us in a very good place in the recovery process of the industry. We did a lot on accelerating the digital transformation that we are going through. I think we pressed on in customer relation, in pricing, and in e-commerce platform. I think was a good chance for us as an acid test where we revigorated all the relationships we have with strategic partners and stakeholders. For instance, we just renewed our partnership with Radisson, our master franchise agreement for 20 years. We are very active on M&A in Brazil. So we took the opportunity to also accelerate the process. We closed 2 major deals this year. One has just been announced today. And we have 2 other leads in the pipeline. We are to launch next week a new family of products, a new mode of hospitality that's just to be announced next week. And also we had to, I think it's good also because we had to restructure, to redefine the hotel in order to survive in this recovery phase, so that they can have a break even at a much lower occupancy rate. So we did a lot on efficiency gains initiatives, revising policy standards, centralizing processes, automating processes, adjusting products and offers. And the good thing is, most of those measures, they'll be kept after the crisis is over. So I think all in all, I know a crisis is also always a good acid test for for culture building. I think we leave the moment, we leave the crisis with much stronger values and with a much stronger team.
Very good, thank you. Gonzalo, what can we see different on leisure and at AMResorts this year? Is Gonzalo there?
I think we lost.
Oh,
we'll try again.
Okay, let's go to the next one and then we get back to Gonzalo later. Well, I'll get back to you, Giestas. Talking about the distribution, and we see each day Google playing a bigger part of the show. Today is a big day for Airbnb. How is Atlantica navigating the distribution challenge? How do you see the trends for the next year? And is your direct channel increasing, or how is domestic market behaving?
All right, it's we have 3 questions here, right, Tricia? Let me start with like distribution trends, especially if you consider that the corporate market, corporate traveling, business traveling will start to pick up next year, but will come back maybe to normal levels just by the end of next year. Considering that, we are expecting that self-booking tools will keep increasing its share to corporate travelers. We see also corporate sales. They'll also, they'll keep growing through OTAs. So the online distribution channel as a whole is gaining relevance in the crisis, and will sustain it next year. The GDS channel is, it's very stagnated. We don't see them recovering next year. And on our side, the direct sales channels, our direct sales channel is actually the one that is increasing the most. And we are putting a strong effort in making it more responsive to the new demands. So this is the one channel that is growing faster, even compared to the OTAs. Just to give you maybe an indication, in October, like that was the first month, since the pandemic started, that we had a growth year over year, but we are performing in October at 60% of last year, but our direct channel, our online sales grew by 7%, our site. And we just had our Black Week, our Black Friday week, big promotion, yeah. And we sold in this promotion 27% more than last year. So we see that the crisis, the pandemics, was a good promoter of the acceleration process of online, especially the private, our own e-commerce platform. And when it comes to the domestic market, as you said, yes, the domestic market is the one that's recovering first and faster than the international. And this has an impact on the online, on our direct channel. We see, as Alex said, we see people in Brazil traveling more, inside national territory due to international travel restrictions, and also because of the dollar appreciation in Brazil. And if you go to the corporate, to the business travel side, also, what you see that the SMEs, the small medium enterprise sector, which are mainly Brazilian companies, they are responding with more flexibility to corporate travel. They need to get back on business. They need to do mission critical traveling. They need to generate business, and they are much more lenient to the protocols. And we see them recovering faster than the international business traveling. And the international business traveling, we are expecting them just to start recuperating on the second semester of next year, once we have a widespread vaccine working.
Very good. Thank you, Giestas. Welcome back, Gonzalo.
Thank you, Tricia.
Let's do two in one.
Yeah.
Tell us the transformation you've seen on your business on leisure at AMResorts this year, and let's jump into the distribution theme too, and to understand how are demand forecasts for the next year. How are the air routes impacting on your demand, or how is your direct channel?
Yes, thank you, Tricia. Again, sorry for the issue with the
problem
support. So just to mention that AMResorts is a management company focusing beach resorts, mainly in Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America. Also some resort destinations in Spain. We have 67 resorts with more than 25,000 rooms. So we're in that niche of market. And of course, in the Caribbean, Mexico, Central America, we rely a lot in the North American markets. So first, there is a complete disruption in supply and demand. We thought we were experts in crisis management. We've been through many hurricanes and earthquakes, some other fake news crisis related to safety and crime, seaweed. And actually, in 2009, we went through a swine flu crisis in Mexico. That it was an interesting precedent to what we're living today, but nothing compared to what we have this time. And we've seen obviously a change in the behavior of our guests, and we see a lot of changes in the way people enjoy life, do business, and stay healthy. So there's a lot of implications. In the short term, I would like to differentiate. There's short-term implications versus other structural changes that may stay here in the future. Fortunately, what we've seen is so far, we're betting that most of the repercussion in the leisure beach resorts market is going to be more short to midterm. In the short term, we needed to survive with no income because we shut down all the hotels. Obviously, cash is king. And we needed to take, a lot of the actions that everyone is aware of, no? Unfortunately, including salary reductions and changing shifts to the staff, and of course negotiations with suppliers and credit conditions with our clients. We changed a lot of flexibility in order to accept cancellations, changing some of the terms and conditions. But when we started reopening hotels, it's been a challenge. Fortunately, moving to the market segmentation, the resorts in Mexico perform better in the summer. There's a strong domestic market that helped a little bit because, of course, people were looking for something closer to home, especially if they didn't need to travel by air. But we've seen, of course, price sensitivity. In some cases, some price wars. Some people looking for medical insurance as another challenge. But one of the transformations, as an example, plastic utilization. So we were trying to move out and trying to get rid of some plastic water bottles. But unfortunately, we've seen that lately there's more trust in consumers when they have that bottle. But not only that, I mean, we're using plastic to make sure that we go through all the sanitation process in everything in the rooms, no, like glasses or other amenities. So unfortunately, we've seen these changes in the short term, but definitely it's different from business to leisure segments. We know there's a huge pent-up demand for leisure, especially open air, like beach resort destinations, with the infrastructure and the proximity from the North American main gateways in the US and Canada. We've seen that some destinations, in spite of the roller coaster in demand, Cancun is coming back. It's much stronger lately. And although, of course, way far from 2019, is coming back. So just talking briefly about the trends in the direct channels, something is related. I mean, we've seen that most of our direct clients booking directly with us are in relatively short distance from the resorts, either, let's say, the domestic market in Mexico or the US market, mainly somehow in Canada as well. So we rely less on the tour operators or intermediaries, and therefore, as these segments in the weighted average are more important these days, definitely we've seen an increase in direct business as a correlation with more domestic or short haul markets that are growing. No? Of course, we've seen less groups and incentives, as was mentioned before by Charuta. So we also see more challenges to have some relief.
Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem.
No, just to finish, the last one was just charters that are exposed to more risk. And of course, age brackets, we've seen, of course, younger crowd traveling. They are more, I mean, looking for deals, but millennials probably have less concerns about traveling and still the economic power to travel. So that's where we're focusing on.
Very good, very good. And Alex, so what about you? How is housing demand behaving? Which are your main channels, your main sales channels?
Right, I'll be short on this one. So our direct channel just increased from 50% since the pandemic. So now it represents something around 65%, which is pretty much. I think this is a result of the branding, the power of the brand. It helps to bring people straight to our own channel. We see also an increase on the long-term channels. So it is just increasing month after month. So the short-term channels that used to represent something around 30% on our demand now represents not more than 10%. So we see this change in the behavior. And I want to comment that we see two trends that are pretty interesting. The first one, that we are bringing most of our demand from social media. So this is something pretty new, that our tenants are coming from social media, and also the community effect, that when our people start to relate by themselves, it helps to bring other people from their network in a mouth-to-mouth effect. So this is really interesting, and we love that our tenants just start to be together. So this is something really amazing.
Very good. Well, wrapping up, we will do a fast game here. You will thumb up if you think it will last, and you thumb down if you think it won't last. Digital conferences. Social distancing. We have to be fast. Social distancing.
Of course.
Capacity limit on lodging, restaurants, and activities. Collaboration between tourism players. ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance on tourism. Good, guys. Remote work. Flexibility on cancellation and changes policies. Great. Masks.
Face mask.
Masks.
Yeah.
And market excitement with Airbnb's IPO.
Whoa.
Thank you, Alex, Eduardo, and Gonzalo for joining today on this panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tricia.